Hey guys, welcome back to the life of Costy. Today we're doing something rather unusual, but I'm pretty sure super useful for everyone out there who is interested in getting a student accommodation in London and doesn't know where to start because maybe the guidelines are not super clear, or you never know, you never find enough reviews online. So I thought about putting together a nice comprehensive guide as a person that has been through that last May and has lived 1 year in accommodations, and I'm fresh out of it. So if you're interested in this, then keep on watching. So, since it's a pretty broad and quite complicated process, I'm gonna try to be as brief as possible, and actually, I'm gonna be putting down in the description box below where I speak about the single points so that you can just skip to that in case you already went through the first stages or you have a specific question. So, what I'm gonna be covering today is why you should get an accommodation with a student hall and not necessarily go for private accommodation. Then I'm gonna be covering, sorry, I have my computer there with all the points in case I forgot about any of them, so possibly most of the time. And then the difference between accommodations and intercollegiate halls and specific to universities. My university is UCL. Then when and how to apply, specific terms you need to know, especially if you're an international student and you're not native to English, because for me, being Italian, it was a completely different world and I didn't really have anybody to help out. Then, of course, the application process, my experience, and then I rounded up the experience of some of my closest friends who all lived in different halls, and they were kind enough to send me vocals, messages and stuff about their own experiences, so you can hear from multiple sources. Let's begin. So why should you live in a University of London accommodation, or in general a student accommodation? So first of all, I think as a first year student, as you're always guaranteed in most universities, I think, to have an accommodation, then you should take up that offer, because it's something that you're never gonna be able to do again. So that's the first thing that, it's the most important factor when you're deciding. Second is because I know you've already been stressed about, researching your school, getting the grades to finally meet that conditional offer, or if you got an unconditional, congrats, you're a genius, but in general, a conditional offer. And you had to decide a university, and probably you already don't live in London, so you're gonna have to move. If you're watching this, you're gonna have to move. And so it can be a very stressful and distressing situation for both you and your family. So that's also a thing to put into account. Having an accommodation that has already all sorted out for you, because, for example, in the rent is included all of the bills, all of the maintenance, all of the electricity and Wi-Fi is included in halls, which is something that you don't necessarily already have at a private accommodation. When I say private, I mean like a flat, or, like a rent, somewhere where you rent, which is different from private halls, which is also an option, but they're more expensive usually. Then a very important thing is to think about the social life. So the social life, and especially meeting people from all over the university and being able to attend parties and being able to, just in general, always have somebody to talk to in case you're going through a hard time, or you just want to share what happened during the day with you, or you have a question. It's always so nice, especially as a fresher, which is people in the first year, because you're not gonna have too many friends already, so it's gonna be nice to get to meet people and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm not gonna go on all about social life because I got the point across. Just remember that in high school you had your friends that you're gonna be following, the same classes together, so you're forced to socialize, whereas in college, unless you have a very lab-centered and, you know, hands-on course, you're not going to be spending as many hours of your day with your classmates, and many people just leave early or come late and you're not going to be able to speak with them, so you have to find other ways of socializing, which is not bad, but it's different. And then the last but not least important thing to take into consideration is that if you want an accommodation close to university, as most universities in London are in central London and rents can be very high, and if you want to get it especially by yourself, or have, like, you know, if you don't know anybody to share like an apartment with just already in the first year, it's probably the cheapest option. So take that into consideration. Yes, sometimes you will have to give up a bathroom, or if you have to share a kitchen. I'm gonna go into detail about that later, but the opportunity cost, trust me, it's the best, especially because London life can already be super expensive. So what is the difference between an intercollegiate hall and a university specific hall? So of course I'm from UCL, so I know my specific experience. UCL has certain halls that are only for UCL students. The pros are that you're gonna be bonding with people that go to UCL Uni, and generally they're closer and they're managed by UCL, so you don't have to interact with the third party. But their capacity is limited, and when I'm gonna explain, when you put in your preferences, especially related to price, it's not possible to meet them with University of London, UCL, University College London accommodations. So they're gonna be pushing you to a University of London accommodation, which is intercollegiate halls. Intercollegiate halls are halls that are managed not by the single university, but the University of London accommodations department. And these are, as I said, intercollegiate, so you're going to have people from all different universities. I personally had friends from LSE, City University of London, some people from King's, so that's what you're going to get. And especially intercollegiate halls, as of the website, are open to students, undergraduate and postgraduates, studying at a full-time course at one of the colleges of the University of London, listed on the website, and that's basically every college. Also, today we're going to be talking about my experience as an undergraduate. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I don't know what's the process with postgraduate, especially if you already have a family or if you have specific needs since you're an adult, you know. But I know that the process is quite similar, just some things might differ, so please check with your university. All the universities in England have all the information online, and it's pretty easy to reach out. Please send an email. Don't call them, because especially at the beginning of the year, you're going to be super busy, so it's better to send an email. Even if you call them, they're going to tell you to write, you know, an email. And so just ask, because that's something that I didn't do and that wasn't smart. So don't do my same mistakes, and that's why I'm doing this video. So when should you apply? You should apply for UCL, but most universities, by the 31st of May of the year that you're starting university in September. Especially you need to do this after you accepted this university that you are applying through, because you can't apply straight to the University of London accommodation when you have accepted this as your firm choice. If you don't get into your firm choice, reach out to your secondary choice. I don't remember what's the name because I'm dumb, but and just, you know, tell them straight away, I don't have an accommodation, how can I do, what's the process, and they're probably gonna have a waiting list for you, so you're gonna have to hustle a little bit more, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna be fine, or at least I hope so, really much. So yeah, that's it. When you get your firm choice in, you're gonna receive an email, not straight away, after a while, in the beginning of May usually, saying, okay, this is a link, complete this form, and we're gonna get everything sorted. And then you're gonna just have to sit and wait until August, when the students in the UK get their results for the A levels. I know that for me it was weird because I got my results at the beginning of July, and I knew that I got into UCL, but you have to wait for everyone to know if they've met their conditions, and they're gonna tell you, oh yeah, you have this offer for this room, and there's not negotiable, like you have this room and that's it. And you can take it and put in a deposit of like £25 or £250. Pretty huge difference. I'm gonna put it here. I don't remember. And after that, you're just gonna receive communications about your moving day and your how to pay and stuff like that. I'm not gonna go into detail because it's pretty boring, and like it's pretty simple as a process. It's very straightforward and it's easy to pay and this and that. I'm gonna go over some key terms before I get into how to express your preferences, especially with regards to what you're wanting, because I know that it can be hard, as I said already. Not all people are mother tongue, and some stuff it's not even like understandable for people that come from over the pond or Australia and are still mother tongue. So first of all, you need to decide if you want to have your accommodation to be catered or self-catered. So self-catered is an accommodation where you have your own kitchen. Usually it's your own or shared with a group of people. That can be anywhere from 3 to 16 as I had. And don't worry, all of these informations will be listed and I'll go through that. You don't have to share with 16 people unless you want to. Or catered, you're gonna get a pre-made meal. Usually there's a breakfast and a dinner. I don't think they have lunch, so you're gonna find a way to have a ready-made lunch because you're not gonna have a kitchen to cook it in. Maybe you have a microwave or like a communal area where you just have like microwave, one stove and like one sink if you want to rinse something, but it will not be a proper kitchen, or not gonna have a fridge unless you buy one, but it's not allowed everywhere, you have to check. So yeah, you have your food already made, give or take. It depends on you, your preferences. Like I know people that are not really made, they weren't taught how to cook and they don't really care. I am pretty particular when it comes to food, being Italian and this and that. And the food indicator rule is fine as for what I've heard. And it's good for socialization, but so is the kitchen, so don't think that's a make or break it deal. First of all, you want to look for ensuite if you want to have your bathroom inside of your room. That's not a given. Most accommodations will not have the bathroom inside the room. And I know, I thought it was gonna be super hard. I shared it with another person, and to be completely honest with you, it was not the end of the world. It was next to my room, it's fine. Some accommodations will have like a sink inside of the room and then have communal showers and bathrooms, like toilets, but they're pretty clean, and if you're not too particular with that, it's not the end of the world. And some accommodations will have like a sink and a toilet, but not the shower. So there's a pretty wide range. If you go on the University of London website or your specific school website, you're gonna be finding all of the information about this. Just read through everything, you're gonna find it. Then there is the types of rooms. So you have a studio, a townhouse, or a flat. Or a single room. A single room, most times it's gonna be one single bed, might be en suite, might not be en suite, and then like a desk and wardrobe. And then you're gonna have, if you have a bathroom, the room is gonna be smaller. If you don't, it's gonna be a little bit bigger, but all in all, it's just a single. Then you have a studio. A studio usually comprises en suite and then a little kitchenette. They're more expensive and they're difficult to find, but there are some of them. And then there is a flat. A flat is where you have like a bunch of rooms on the same floor and they share a kitchen usually, or they're just like a bunch of rooms on the same floor if they're catered, but usually flats are gonna have a communal area and a kitchen that they share. The kitchens are divided pretty well. They have like multiple stoves, about 1 to 3 people, and then they're gonna have like fridges. A lot of them, they're more industrial kitchens, where you're gonna have, like 1 or 2 things in the fridge to store your stuff. It's not a lot. I've learned to just buy what's needed, and to be completely honest with you. I had to buy a little shelving unit to put my stuff because I like to cook and I had a lot of utensils. Think about that too when you think about catered or uncatered, self-catered. You will have to buy like pads, pens, pots and everything like that if you go to get a self-catered, and then you're gonna have to move them out and back, like back and forth. But you know, to some people it's worth, some people it's not. To me it was very well worth it. And it's gonna be an expense, just know that. Especially you're gonna have to get all of the lining for your beds. It does not come in the price. You're gonna have to get cleaning supplies. You're gonna have to get bath like towels and stuff like that. It's not a given, but don't be scared. It's something that's doable. Everybody's done it. Just it takes time to master this for sure. And I wish I known all of this stuff before. Then there is a townhouse. A townhouse, it's like a townhouse, like there is one stair and one elevator, and then there are multiple floors. On each floor there are 2 to 4 bedrooms and then shared bathrooms, or the bathrooms are inside. And then on one floor of the little building there is a kitchen and a communal area. For me, we had a separate entrance where you could all just enter with our key card, but you know, it's different for every accommodation. They're pretty uneven in the sense that like there is no 2 accommodations are the same, and that freaks me out, but also like it's gonna be fine. It's not too different. It's just little things are twisted and tweaked to fit the buildings, because most of them are renovated older buildings that were separate, they were bought in bulk, and then they were just connected and made into a student residence. When it comes to facilities, what you're looking for is common room, which is literally a sofa and a TV, and that's the place where you can hang out with your friends that you bring over just from your accommodation. Then a laundrette, where you're gonna have your washing machines and drying machines. Oh my god, it's hell. It's pretty expensive also, but you know, it's the only way, so you can do it. Just go at like 11 p.m. like I did, and you're always gonna find them free. No, I'm not crazy, but yeah, you have to learn the tricks and tips, you know. Don't go on a Sunday morning or on like a Saturday evening before the going out time, because they're gonna be busy for sure. And then take care of the floors, because many accommodations do have rooms on the ground floors. Some people like it, some people don't, but do take it into account. As I said, in the application process, you're gonna be putting in your preferences. So for UCL is catered or self-catered, ensuite or shared bathroom, single or twin, and then the cost. And for UCL, you do put in the range of the cost, and then what's important to you. It's not there are not many specifications, but for example, they say like, for me it's important to be close to school, or for me it's important to have like a squash court, or for me it's important to have an ensuite bathroom. So like, you're gonna put in an order of priorities. And then also they're gonna tell you, like ask you if you're willing to share a room, and if you really want to share a room with someone, then you can indicate that person, but it needs to go to the same university as you do, and you have to have their information. So talk with your friends if you're going to the same uni and if you want to live together in student accommodation. And then of course, as I said, you're gonna receive your offer and this and that. Okay, so I'm gonna be going through my experience super fast before I jump into all of the nice messages that I received from my amazing UCL friends. So I didn't really know anything going in. I just knew that it was what was advised from the university to go into a student hall, and nobody in my family had ever lived inside of a student hall, so we were pretty much unprepared. I was also late because I was doing my finals while I was supposed to be doing the application, so you know, busy, didn't think about that. And I just decided to go for the closest to school, new and I wanted the cost to be middle range. Like most accommodations are going to be between 200 and 300 pounds a week. You might find some at 150, but they're very like a limited number of them, and also most of them are twins. So if you don't care about sharing a room with someone, but do think 2 times about that, then you can find it for super cheap. So at the end of the month, I spent about £1,000, which is a lot of money, I know, but you're not used to London yet. It's gonna be that. Trust me, it's that. Then I just applied for a townhouse. I arrived my first day. My room was already decided. It's not like you arrive and they're like given to you on the moment, so it's not like you can say, oh no, I don't like this room, I'm gonna get something else. It was pretty clean, but to be completely honest with you, I was not prepared because all of my toiletries and like all of my stuff were inside the room was not ready yet. Like I didn't have anything to cover my mattress with, so I couldn't have slept, and I was so lucky that my mom had come up to London with me, so I slept in the hotel with her until everything arrived. I did get this townhouse, and my first townhouse, I kid you not, I cried when I arrived, because it was this room inside of garden halls, which is a beautiful structure. Everything's quite new, and the people are like super international, and it's in front of a garden, and it's 10 minutes from UCL, like 15 minutes from City University, 20 minutes from King's and LSE, and super close to a shopping center and a park, Russell Square, tube station, and also King's Cross. But my room and all townhouses except Townhouse 1 have their windows half inside of this internal little garden and half on the street. So if you like your window makes you see the street, then it's fine, because like your room, it's gonna be about a square with a double bed, or like somewhere in between like queen size and a single, but like queen about, and then you get like this little desk, and then you get a wardrobe, and you get one shared bathroom with another person that has a small sink, toilet, cupboards to put your stuff in, and then a big ass shower, and it's super clean. Everything's like super clean. But my room did give in on the internal garden, where you had literally, I kid you not, in front of me all the windows of all of the other accommodations. So if I can see inside of your room, I know you can see inside of mine, and I'm claustrophobic. I couldn't have stand it. It was on the 5th floor, so it means that I had to do 5 flights of stairs every day to go to the kitchen that was on the lower floor, and like you could only see the little inside garden that's like made out of concrete. And I was like not doing it, and I tried to complain, I tried to get a different room, and they were like, the only way you can do that, and be sure about that, the only way you can get a different room is if you find someone to switch it with. I was so lucky, because I found a person that switched it with me, and I got it in Townhouse 1, which is so nice because they have their private entrance and all of the rooms give on the street. And I also got a large townhouse, which there are only like 5 of them because they are on a corner, and I had 2 windows. And if you want to see my room, go check out my other video. I'm gonna put it here. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'm gonna show you. And the kitchen was on the last floor. But I was given that chance only because I knew a person that was inside of that townhouse, and I literally covered the place with little notes saying, oh, if you want to switch your room, just like text me at this like number, or connect on IG and this and that. Life of Costy, in case you want to connect. Or if you have any other questions, just like, you know, I'm here. I am on lockdown, so if you have questions, just DM me. And I was saying, so I switched, and I was so happy with my accommodation, and the people that I ended up living with were so amazing, and I'm so happy that I lived there. And overall, like, the laundrette is good. We have a study hall, we have multiple places to just, you know, crash with your friends, and the reception is pretty good. They also collect all of your parcels, so if you are into online shopping, it's like nice. But I did have an awful experience the first week where I was supposed to go to this event and have Freshers Week, and I kind of like avoided that because I was going through a crisis of having to live there. So yeah, that's my experience. I actually kept it briefer than I thought. Only 6 minutes. My God. Okay, so I'm gonna go through the reviews of different accommodations. I'm not gonna read straight directly from the messages, otherwise, so not in Italian, otherwise we would be here for hours on end, but going pretty fast, it's Untitled House, it's a UCL accommodation. The overall review was that it's super close to UCL and it's a pretty old accommodation, and it's a labyrinth inside there, but for £195 a week for a single room with sink in it and then shared showers and toilets, it was pretty good. They did share a kitchen with other 3 to 6 people. The huge problem was that it's pretty old and they do have mice, which is not great, of course, and it can get a little bit loud because it's on a big road, and also the walls are paper thin, so you can hear everything, and the socialization is quite poor because they don't have a lot of communal area and people tend to stay to themselves. For example, other accommodations tend to be more of the like Astor College tends to be more of the social place, but you know, if you care about being close to school and if you want to get it cheap, then go for that. Also, she adds that the people were not super clean and she did have cultural barriers because the people in their accommodation were mostly of a different continent than she is. I'm not gonna go into detail because I don't want to be, you know, xenophobic, but it kind of happened to me too. You're gonna have cultural barriers, like people are different, like the smell is gonna be weird, and like the times that you're gonna have the meals at is gonna be different. You gotta get used to that. But all in all, she would advise people to go there. Astor College is kind of like the garden halls, so my accommodation of UCL. It's new, it's super renovated, and it has a lot of different kinds of rooms, and it's basically on a road that's parallel to UCL. So this like Astor College, this is Gower Street, and then, no, this is, what's the name? Tottenham Hall Court. So you get the Gauge underground station here, which is like super close, and you have all of the bars and the shops here. You have IKEA, you have all of everything that you need, and then on the parallel road is like Gower Street, which is where UCL is. So it's like super close, about 10 minutes away, maybe less. She said that she had a studio on the ground floor, which had a small kitchen and it was en suite. So she's really happy about it because it was great for getting around and going back and forth. And also, you know, she had a great experience with having her own kitchen. The people were really, really nice. And she said that if you have a shared kitchen, you do meet more people, but she did end up going to different floors to, you know, go to socials and parties. So it was not that limiting, but yeah, she would say that if you're looking for socialization, I think a shared kitchen is the best way to go. And then they have really good managers, as actually garden halls, it's really good. And they have a security detail at night. It's like that in newer halls like garden halls, international halls, and Astor College. Most places either have a key card, or if they're newer, and the key card is great because you can only get inside certain areas where you have the possibility, like where you're allowed, whereas the other halls like Astor College have a key, a little bit less new school, but it's the same kind of concept, so that you can only get into certain areas and they're pretty safe. I never heard of anybody like telling me that somebody broke into their room. They're super, super safe. But anyways, going on. And then they said they had great events in the first 3 weeks. Yeah, they had the same in garden halls. Great. And they're great for socializing and meeting new people. So get out there, go to parties if you don't want to. You need to do that. And also it's your first freshers week ever, so like do it. And then they had a printing room, a quiet study room, and the people only go to UCL, which she did find good. I did prefer having people from different universities because it gave me a best range of experiences. They don't have a catered option, but she did do a lot of like cooking together with other people, which she enjoyed. And the only downside was that the mattress was too soft. Other people told me about that. So all in all, she would advise people to go there. Then we're gonna go for another University of London Intercollegiate Accommodation, which is International Hall. International Hall gives on a garden park, but it's right behind Brunswick Center, and it's about a little bit further than Garden Halls from UCL, but I would say UCL is about 9 minutes walk fast. International Hall is like 12, 15, so it's not that bad. Brunswick Center has like everything that you need. They have disco with rose, they have, you know, sushi, they have Mexican, they have wings, they have Starbucks. So Brunswick is like the center of the UCL life, I'm afraid. If you have on that side, if you're on the other side, you go more on God Street. But you're gonna understand this when you go to UCL, if you go to UCL. So she said pros, double bed, which is great for one, and if you're a couple, and then they have double chairs. They have their own kitchen and bathroom. She did have a studio like my friend from Master College. It's close to the gym. Oh yeah, it's great. There is a bunch of gyms. If you need to have a recommendation about gyms, just write it down below. There are study rooms. It's relatively safer because there is security 24/7. It's actually the same as other halls. Not necessarily all halls like have it. John Towel doesn't have it, but it's cheaper. So the cons are it's harder to have people overnight because you're only allowed like one person after a certain hour, so you know they have to sign in. You have to think about that. If you, for example, go to John Towel, then you're not gonna have to have people sign in because they don't have security. Then carpet was quite dirty. It was the same for me. It got dirty. It was pretty clean at first. Then the studios are not cleaned. All the rooms are not cleaned. The fact that they're not catered gives less chance of meeting people and meals, but they do have events in the all throughout the year, actually, not only in the first few weeks. Like they have movie nights, then they have, you know, things for Thanksgiving or Christmas or Halloween, and challenges, so it's pretty great. And then they have mattress was too soft. Maintenance took quite a lot. International Hall is not the best hall, to be completely honest with you, but it does have a good reputation. And yeah, you need a filter for water, but from every hall, because university like London has very, very bad water quality. So I would suggest you to get a filter so you don't buy bottles of water, which is super expensive. She said that it was nice to have an intercollegiate halls because she didn't meet people from different universities, and I agree wholeheartedly. And then we have a thing from St. Pancras Way, which is I think a private accommodation, and she said it's like great. It's a little bit far from UCL, but it was a great experience, and it's super close to Camden High Street and other restaurants. Camden is a great area. They have cheaper accommodation there, so if you're looking for an accommodation up there, it's cheaper. To be completely honest with you, UoL has accommodation like in Paddington, Marylebone, but they're less requested because they're not as close to the range of universities, which is like more in the eastern area of London. And yeah, in conclusion, if you have a question, reach out to me, to people at UCL, to people that you might know that go to UCL. Just do a little bit of stalking, and expect the unexpected. Like, you've got to be ready to maybe not have the room that you want, but all in all, most accommodations are good, and I hope that I cleared out some of your doubts about terms and different kinds. And also, these are great accommodation, like pros and cons of ready for accommodation, so you already have a head start when you're looking for accommodations. And yeah, if you like this video, guys, as always, follow down below, hit the notification bell. I'm gonna be releasing a ton of video in the coming up weeks, and if you have a question or want to suggest a video, leave it down below, and you can follow me here at The Life of Costy on IG. I'm working on TikTok. Should I join? Should I not join? Leave it down below. And if you don't agree with something I said, feel free to tell me. And yeah, I hope you have luck in this process. I'm with you. And if you want to meet next year at university, you know, reach out. Love you guys.